I've learned a lot the last couple weeks. My eyes have opened, my brain has opened. Before I finally got the proper pain treatment 2 weeks ago, I figured or even expected everything to go how it has gone in the past. When I've had Oxycodone or Percocet, anytime between 2016 and now, and that's only been a few times, and for like a month or two, but it always went how I expected it to. Well, it's complicated, but I learned. I've always learned. I always learn. The first time it was after injuries. That was in 2016. First my broken leg, then my burns. So I was taking Oxycodone or Percocet every day, 4 or 5 months. After 5 months, I could walk, which is shown in the video I made of me walking down the hallway almost 4 years ago. Which is the best I've been since 2010. Yeah, that was the best I've been in a long, long time. And I knew a lot already about opioids or oxycodone and why it helps me or how it helps me. But at that point, I still didn't realize how much pain I was in. And that all these things that get better when I take oxycodone are forms of pain. Extreme forms of pain that most people never experience, that I never experienced before, definitely before 2010. Up until here the last few days, I kind of expected to be able to stand up by now, maybe take a few steps with aid. And I can't do that right now. And that's not because my treatment is failing. My treatment's not failing. I don't think I have to tell you for you to know. My treatment is not failing. The fact that I've made about 10 videos in the last 2 or 3 weeks, when I made 3 in the previous year, well, since maybe half a year, that tells you something. That tells you something's going on up here, all right? And something's going on up there. A lot's going on up there that wasn't going on up there prior to June 29th. And, I've been learning a lot by reflecting on my fairly recent past. And, when I started treatment last July, it was at the very end of July, so it was basically August. When I started treatment, I figured if I get oxycodone or Percocet, somewhere around 60 milligrams of it per day, things are gonna get better real quick. And at first I was prescribed 15 milligrams a day of Percocet. And I didn't have a problem with that because I was getting treatment, for one. But not only was I getting treatment, but I went there expecting to be dead in a few days. And I'm not exaggerating. I wanted to be dead in a few days. I don't think I ever could have done it, but I wanted to be dead. And if I ever have to be at that point again, I want to be dead. I don't want to live like that. No one wants to live like that. But okay, so the first month I was taking, was a really tiny dose per day. Well, 3 doses, I guess, generally. But I figured I would go back the next month and show them my remaining pills. And I mean, that right there would tell them plenty. They probably don't even know this, but that tells them everything. Anyone who ever brings back pills to a pain appointment is not going to become an addict. It's not the pills. The pills don't turn you into an addict. If you have any inclination to abuse pain pills, you're going to do it from the start, and you won't have any pills to show them your next appointment. Okay, I was only prescribed basically 2 or 3 days worth of pills anyway, and I made that last a month. That was everything they needed to know. I wouldn't have known this 4 years ago. I wouldn't have, but that's because my knowledge was largely based on things I had been told or read or heard, not experience. Okay, shit. I always geek out when I don't know what to say, but I forget that I can just cut it. Alright, where was I? Okay, so, the end of July 2019, everything's looking great. It's not looking as great as it could, but it's looking like it will be great. So I go back to my pain appointment in late August, thinking I'm going to get more Oxycontin or Percocet than I even want. And that didn't happen. I didn't get any more. I got more, I was going to say medicine, but it's not medicine. I can't say that 100% about this one, but I received a little addition to my Percocet. I received, I think it was 30 milligrams daily of MS Contin. MS means morphine sulfate, and Contin means continuous. That's what Contin means in Oxycontin. It's not instant release, it's all day. Except that's not that's not what it is. So I only took that for a month, so I really don't have much or anything to say about MS Contin, because actually the reason why I took that was because they prescribed me Oxycontin 40 milligrams per day at first, and my insurance wouldn't pay for it, so I had to try something else first. And the insurance accepted MS Contin as one of those options, so I took that for just a month. And I definitely, I've taken that, and I've taken at least one other morphine. As far as I know, it was just called morphine, but was extended release. So anyway, I took Contin for a month, and then when I went back at the end of September 2019, we decided they would prescribe me Oxycontin, hoping that all the hurdles that hoping we had cleared whatever hurdles were in our way. So they did. So they prescribed me Oxycontin, and I kind of hoped, well, I really hoped. I figured things are going to start getting better because it's oxycodone. Well, I was wrong. And it took me at least a couple months till I started figuring out that Oxycontin isn't good for me. I don't think I had any idea how not good for me it is for a while, but I wasn't getting better physically. It does provide some pain relief, and it does provide some spasticity relief, maybe even a good amount. I don't know. I mean, and those are the two most important things to me. Spasticity. I assume this is spasticity. I don't even know anymore, because when I started using that word, I thought my biggest problem was multiple sclerosis. And I just, so much of what I thought was multiple sclerosis, I have multiple sclerosis. I didn't lose my diagnosis, but so much of what I used to think was MS probably isn't. It's arachnoiditis. And arachnoiditis is a real disease, a real medical issue, as opposed to a list of symptoms that people decided are some kind of illness, like multiple sclerosis. Everyone knows what pain is. Everyone has experienced pain. Pretty much everyone thinks it sucks. And it's because they're right. Why should I have to say that to anyone? How stupid of a society do we live in if our society thinks having relief from pain is bad? Anyway, it was probably December or January 2019, 2020, when I started figuring out that Oxycontin is kind of bad for me. It's not just not as good as oxycodone, instant release oxycodone. It's not even comparable. Or Percocet. It's not the same thing. It might be. Think of it like this: everything you've ever drank is almost entirely water. Coffee is almost entirely water. Water hydrates. Coffee dehydrates. Water is oxycodone. Coffee is Oxycontin. You don't use coffee to get hydrated, or beer. It's not smart. So I hope that made sense, because that's how I I think it should make sense. Anyway, so all these months, at first it was several months, you know, I think I'm drinking water, but I'm actually drinking coffee. I thought I was being hydrated, but I was actually being dehydrated. And I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know. I mean, I've just woken up in a lot of ways. And I think you all know that. And I don't have anything to hide from anyone. But, eventually it got to where I felt like Oxycontin was not just not good, but it was bad. It was causing me problems. It was giving me headaches. I remember that. Headache is not necessarily the right word. It was more like head pain. And it was bad. And it was all the time. And it doesn't happen with Oxycodone or Percocet. And I know that because I've taken a lot. Even I'm talking back, before I ever went to this pain clinic, I've taken a lot of that stuff. When you get injured how I've been injured in the last few years, well, in 2016, you know a little bit about Oxycodone. It's inevitable. So sometime early this year, 2020, after I start realizing Oxycontin is not bad for me, and keep in mind, I've known for almost 4 years that the answer is Oxycodone or Percocet, which is the same thing basically. Because the only difference is that Percocet has acetaminophen. I really doubt acetaminophen does anything for me or to me. I'm in it for the Oxycodone. Anyway,